escape persecution under versions of Christianity, but even those who came to this country still peeled off versions of Christianity. It may not have been under the Catholic faith of the way they did it in England, but they fled that because it was so oppressive, whereas versions of Christianity today allow you to worship the way you want, and you have different denominations that have branched off of that kind of stuff. So, Catholics and others, Protestants and all that other kind of stuff, it still is under, kind of that Christian type realm. So that's what I think about it in this country when it comes to religion and how it's kind of branched and gotten, the way that it is today. Maybe not commercialized. Some would say yes, some would say no, but I think even the commercializing of religion puts it in its place where it is today. That's what I think about it.
The people who came here from England weren't without a religion. They were Puritans and Puritan separatists who wanted to leave the Church of England Catholic.
You are right. You are right. Yeah.
But what's the argument here? That Christianity wasn't very influential? That Christianity was? I don't.
No, we was talking about the girl, and it evolved into this. We was talking about the girl who got told to go back to her country and shit from the teacher.
So okay.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that either. I think that's horribly embarrassing for a teacher to talk to a student like that. Here in Dallas-Fort Worth, the teacher got caught on camera abusing a student, and she and the other folks in that classroom are possibly going to go to prison because you can't hit a student. They later found out that the student was disabled and was now known to be nonverbal, and she was saying some very, very horrible stuff. They had to blank it out on television. It was that bad, but they're facing jail time. You don't do that stuff. Did that person go to jail? Do y'all know any charges or anything?
No, she didn't go to jail. Hey, so check this out.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think Philip put in the chat, forecasting models predicted that the current steep U.S. aid funding cuts could result in 8.5 million and 19.7 million excess deaths, with our best estimates being around 14 million. And then he added the Lancet it's evaluating the impact of 2 decades of U.S. aid interventions, and it projects the effects of defunding on mortality up to 2030.
Is that because of the big No Beautiful bill? I'm not calling it the Big Beautiful bill, whatever people want to call it. That's up to you. Is that information?
That was Elon cutting USAID when Trump first, like, early on, when he first got, we're 6 months in, earlier on, George Soros and the lab were accused of, trying to or Bill Gates, somebody, to depopulate the world, and here we are. He's actually doing.
Both of them are accused of it, especially Bill Gates' wife, ex-wife now.
It turns out Elon Musk doing it.
Crazy. I always hear these arguments about Bill Gates, and to be honest with you, I know somebody that was a recipient of something that Bill Gates does, and I really don't have the same bullshit that everybody has. I actually like the program that some of the programs that he has. I like a lot of the. Didn't he do something in Africa with? I know this sounds old and bullshit to us, like eradicating like polio or some shit.
Yeah, I mean he's done a lot to save. He's done a lot to save lives for someone who wants to depopulate them.
I agree. I'm saying that's a trope that people on the right put out there about him. But like I said, it was Elon Musk that cut USAID, and that's what we were talking about. So, yeah.
Yeah, the depopulation stuff, I was in another space, not this space, and they were talking about that, and I just sit there and I said, man, ain't no way in the world